Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be my monthly update for Pan and Every palette. I have been doing this project for what feels like forever. It's been going on a long time, and the whole point of this project is to eventually get a pan showing in every palette I own. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. This is gonna take a long time, and I'm not quite there yet. I did start tracking my pan percentage last month, which is a percentage of the amount of eyeshadow palettes and face palettes that I own that have a pan in them. And I could tell you right now that that number hasn't changed. It is the same number it was last month. I have not hit a pan on any of the palettes in this project, nor have I hit new pan in a palette in any other project either. So my pan percentage remains the same for this month, and I will have that on the screen right here because I don't remember off the top of my head what that number is. But anyways, I am tracking my usage on the palettes in this project. I'm working on 4 palettes at a time. One of them is a face palette, and I'm trying to hit pan in all of them. At the end of the day, my Pan That palette is my main priority. I tend to try to reach for my Pan That palette every single day. And so everything else is a secondary makeup product. And I do get questions a lot, like, why do you do so much? Why are you working on so much? And the truth is, it does take away from my main focus, which is my Pan That palette. However, if I didn't put these in these little projects and use them once or twice a month, they wouldn't be getting used at all. They'd just be going bad in a drawer. So even though I don't make amazing progress from month to month in this project, at least I'm using these products, and you know, I'm enjoying them a couple of times a month, which is about all I can do at this point, with my main focus being my Pan That palette. So I don't have a whole lot to talk about for today, but the palette that I used the most over the past month is my face palette. And that is my Bare Minerals Translucent Powder Duo. It looks like this. It's just this 2-pan palette. This side is labeled matte and this side is labeled glow. And I don't think either of them do a whole lot for me. If I'm looking kind of shiny, this will dull down the shine a little bit. This one, I really don't see a difference at all. It just, there's really nothing about it that says, ooh, that's glowy. They both feel like a whole lot of nothing to me. I don't love this palette, but I am going to keep using it until it's gone, or at least in this project until there's pan. So I did use this 15 times in the past month, which is pretty good for me. I was in previous months working on other face powders, and so I was trying to like split my time between them, but I finished them, and this is the only face powder I'm currently working on. So I am using this just about every single day. I don't have pan, obviously, but you can see at the top up here, I mean, you could kind of see the pan. My brush must be wedging right up there, and there's a little bit of pan showing right up there, but I'm not counting that. I want to hit pan down here, and I don't know if you could see it, but I do have these little craters that are showing up on the matte side. And that's kind of the same thing that happened when I was panning an Hourglass powder last year. It started out completely smooth and flat, and the more I used it, the more these kind of craters started showing up until eventually I hit pan. So I'm guessing that is a sign of progress, and I'm getting there. So I'm gonna keep working on this. I tend to mix the 2 products together. I don't really choose one over the other, but I'm definitely making more progress on the matte side than the glow side. I don't know why, but I'm gonna keep working on this, and hopefully I will have pan soon. The next palette I want to talk about is the one that just rolled in at last month's update. That is my Pure Visionary palette. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. I think I used 1 or 2 shades in the past before bringing it into this project, but for the most part, I considered this to be a brand new palette as of last month, and I've really been enjoying it a lot. I only used it for 2 looks, but between those 2 looks, I managed to use Dreamer, Girl Boss, Innovator, Rebel, Role Model, and Idealist. So there's still a few shadows in this palette that I haven't really touched yet, but I loved all the shadows that I used. I was pleasantly surprised by the shade here called Role Model. It's a little bit more pigmented than I was expecting, but this shade here called Idealist was the perfect shadow to blend this out, and the two looked beautiful together. It was kind of like a peachy brown shade that I really, really liked. And this Girl Boss shade is like a shimmery pinky shade that is gorgeous. This Dreamer shade is a glittery, gorgeous shimmer. The shimmers have a beautiful formula that just glides on the eyelids so effortlessly, and the mattes are gorgeous and very blendable as well. I'm having a hard time deciding which shadow I want to hit pan on. There's really no wrong answer for this question. But at this point, I'm leaning most towards Dreamer and Rebel. These are the two that I think are the most unique to what I'm currently working on. Dreamer is this gorgeous shimmer with a little bit of glitter running through it, and I think it would look gorgeous with some of the remaining shades in my Pan That palette. And Rebel is a very gorgeous matte shade. Again, unique. When I look at my Pan That palette, these are two shades that I have nothing like in my Pan That palette, and I think they would complement it very, very nicely. So I'm thinking it's gonna be one of those two that I try to hit pan on. I really enjoyed this palette very, very much though, and the quality is outstanding, and I'm looking forward to using this in the months to come. The next palette I used only yesterday, so I only got one use in for the past month, and that is my Jouer Skinny Dip palette. I was cramming before the test. Yesterday I used this palette, today I used another palette so I could get the one usage in before my update, but yeah, I did meet that goal. So this palette is gorgeous, but it still looks pretty much brand new. There's not a whole lot to show. The look I did yesterday involved this shade here called Tan Lines all over my lid, and then I blended it out with that shade in my Pan That palette that I kind of compared to New Wave from the Subculture palette. They were a pretty nice combination. I love that look. I love bronzy eyeshadow looks in the summer, and I thought it was gorgeous. But yeah, that's the only time I reached for this palette in the entire last month. And the final palette rolling over for another month is my Too Faced Razzle Dazzle Berry eyeshadow palette. I am wearing this today. It is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love this palette so much. It's just so magical. Every time I use this palette, I love it, but I'm still kicking myself about not grabbing the pineapple one. I'd already started my low buy and I resisted it, but I'm just like, man, I want that pineapple palette, and it's gone. I'm sure it's somewhere, but I gotta let it go. I have to let it go. Here's the palette right here, and the shade that I'm trying to hit pan on is the shimmery pink shade right here. I don't want to say there's a dip going yet, but it's definitely looking more used than it was, and it's gorgeous. In today's look, I also used these two shades. It was perfect. This is a gorgeous brow bone highlight. This is an amazing crease shade. They all worked really well together. The truth is, at the end of the day, I just need a trio with those three shades and I'm good to go. Like I could get rid of all the rest of my makeup if I just had a trio with those three shades. That's really all I need. But I do not have pan in this palette yet. Just one more use to add to the list. So that is everything, you guys. Despite the fact that progress is going really slow, as always with this project, I'm really enjoying myself, and I'm always optimistic that I might be able to get some more uses in for the upcoming month. Doubt it, but we'll see. You never know. Fingers crossed, you know. So that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. And I have not, there's a bug flying right around my face.